All right, this is one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to coach up a deadlift. We've got a kettlebell and a dumbbell. I usually like to do this with somebody that either hurts themselves doing deadlift, hurts themselves doing some kind of lifting like a squat or deadlift, or just general low back pain. Even people that have never done a deadlift before, I like to coach up like this. So we're going to start with the kettlebell. The first thing, I usually like to get 2 phone books, if you know what those are. 6 inches up off the ground. If you don't have phone books, you can use a 10-pound plate. If you're in a standard gym, stack up a couple of those so it's small enough you can go around it. If you're in a CrossFit gym, use maybe, I don't know, if they've got a piece of wood or something that's laying around that you can just stack a weight on. The boxes obviously are too big, and some of their bumper plates are obviously too big, too wide. So try to find something about 6 inches tall, and there's a reason for that. So you're going to straddle that. If it is a phone book, it's like the perfect size. The first couple reps, I do a 5-5-5. So the first 5 reps, you're just going to keep your hands, it's going to look like this. You're going to keep your hands in contact with your legs as you hip hinge. Really, the first 5 reps you can practice outside of that, up against the wall, just getting that hip hinge in. And it's okay if your toes come up for now. Obviously, eventually we would fix that, but we really just want to get that hinge. So again, hands, or actually the pinky, is going to be in contact with the legs, and you're just going to tap. And kind of keep that head neutral and just tap. Work on keeping the knees behind the toes and the hips back. Kind of keep your weight into your hips. And you're going to do that 5 times. So 5 reps touching that weight. On the 5th rep, you come back up. Then we're going to get ready. You're going to brace, a light brace. Just kind of keep that tight there. Don't suck in. Keep it tight. Come down. Keep your hands in contact. Stick your butt out. And you're going to pull. We want full hip extension. We don't want hyper extension. A lot of people do this. They think that's a complete lift. We just want extension of the hips, so squeeze the glutes at the end. Again, I'm still braced, coming back down, and back up. Back down. I'll do that 5 times. And back down. So again, 5 touches, and then I'll do 5 reps. That's kind of my warm-up. And then you can go into a normal rep scheme where you're doing 5 sets of 5 or 3 sets of 10, something like that. If that doesn't work, if you don't have a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell. Again, preferably up on something. Again, the reason for that is typically, and I'll show you now why we like to prop it up. If you go down, and this is about as far as I can go before I start bending my knees more or rounding my back a little bit. Typically, that will keep you up high enough to where it's similar to if you had a barbell, and that barbell was on bumper plates, so that where your hands are basically what's called the tuberosity here underneath the patellar tendon, where it inserts kind of mid-shin. So that's again why we want that. We want to kind of simulate, because eventually you might be on a barbell. But again, if we don't have access to a kettlebell, we're going to get into a dumbbell position, vertical. You're just going to pull straight up. Now again, this is a little low for me. I would like to be about here, so I would still prop it up. And that, you can work on getting lower, but again, it's going to start looking different because you're going to bend your knee more, or you're going to arch your back or flex your back or wink or something like that. So that's how I coach up a deadlift. Again, that's kind of the basis for a lot of movements that we progress into. But again, it's completely safe as long as they have good coaching on that, with the core staying tight, keeping the hips back and working on that hinge. This is one pood, 16 kilos, which is approximately 35 pounds. Usually I'll start anybody on that weight. That's okay to pull, because most people are used to picking up a 40-pound kid or something like that, a sack of groceries, something like that. On the dumbbell, sometimes I'll start them with a smaller dumbbell, 20 pounds, something like that, and then increase up to that 30-40 pound mark. But once they get over about 40 pounds, some of those dumbbells are kind of funny looking. So ideally the kettlebell. So that's how I coach it up. Thanks.